Alright guys, so if you want to go to a country in Southeast Asia to look for sex tourism, for example, if you want to go to Thailand, Vietnam, or Cambodia, you have to be very careful. In the recent years, there's a massive increase in the number of ladyboys that's coming into the sex industry in these countries. Just imagine this, you book a flight to Pattaya in Thailand, okay? You go to the walking street or Soi 6, you're looking to have a great time. You pick out a good-looking 18-year-old girl, you're vibing back in your hotel room, things are getting hot and steamy. And then the next thing you know that she has a bigger cock than you. And trust me, these surgeries, these hormone replacement therapy, all these medications they're taking, all these injections, okay, the medical technology has gotten so advanced, it's gotten to the point where it's almost impossible to tell the differences between a real woman versus a lady boy, okay? I've been to Thailand twice before. I've been to these cabaret shows, these Tiffany's shows, these LGBTQ drag shows, okay? I've seen so many of these lady boys. Their skin is so silky smooth, okay? I would say their arms and legs are more tender than 98% of women. I don't know what the hell they're putting in these needles or they're putting in these pills or these medications these lady boys are taking, but their skin is 100% silky smooth. And the plastic surgery is done so perfectly that these top-tier lady boys in Thailand, most of them look hotter than over 90% of Asian women out there. So if you're looking to have a good time in these Southeast Asian countries, okay, you have to be very careful. When you go there to look for a good time, they call it boom boom. That's what they call it in Thailand. Also, in recent years, due to the rapid surge in the number of passport bros flying to these countries, these men are coming in the millions, okay? There are also now a lot of gold diggers in these countries. And you got to be careful that they're not looking to annex your bank account, okay? They even have a saying down there. It's called no money, no honey, okay? This is all 100% real. A lot have changed over the years in these countries. There's so many lady boys down there now. So if you're wondering what do they do for these bottom surgery, what they call it gender affirming care, well, way back, okay? So this is these first generation of lady boys, okay? They didn't really have the technology to cut both the penis and the testicle off. So what they used to do was that they would pull out the penis and the testicles, and they would basically tie into a huge knot, and it actually goes up your rear. No, I'm 100% serious. This is what they did probably, 50, 60 years ago when this whole thing of movement first started, okay? Then gradually as the technology improved, now the doctors in these countries, they have the technology to completely cut off both of your testicles and your penis. And what they would do after that is that it would make a neo-vagina. Yes, it's called a neo-vagina. Basically, the doctor drills a hole down there, and I don't think this can actually work. You know, if you do go down there, if you actually want to have a good time with a lady boy, you have to do it from behind, because I'm pretty sure the front, the neo-vagina does not work. And afterwards, you're given a dilator. They tell you that, a month or 2 months after the surgery, you only have to dilate once a week. But this is often not true because that is an open wound down there and your body is constantly trying to heal it. So if you don't dilate every single day, that hole's going to close up and it's going to cause a lot of medical complications. So basically, these lady boys, on top of taking these drugs, these pills, these injections every single day, they also have to dilate down there every single day if they have had the bottom surgery. It does sound extremely painful. And if you're wondering if they got their sausage and both balls cut off, how the hell do they pee? Well, oftentimes they will have to use some kind of a catheter. Okay, I mentioned this before, way back in ancient China. What these eunuchs did was because their penis and testicles were all cut off as well. So at first they had to apply ashes to the wound to stop bleeding, and this was actually extremely effective. Because back in ancient China, the mortality rate for this kind of surgery was only 2%. So 98% of the time, these men did survive these medical procedures. And afterwards, they will use something similar to a wheat or barley, because the center of the wheat or the barley is hollow. So they will stick it into their hole. That's what they will use to pee, and they will have to squat down. It's a very painful process. Now, is there any way to tell, okay, if someone has fully transitioned, if you go to Thailand, okay, if they've had all the plastic surgeries, they got the nose job, they got the lip job, okay, they completely changed their facial features to look like a woman, if they had the bottom surgery and everything, if they're taking these hormones every single day, is there any way you can tell that this person is a lady boy and not a lady? Well, I can tell you one thing, okay, from what I've seen on stage, okay? There's no way you can tell just by looking at them, even if you feel their arms or legs, because it is so silky, smooth, and soft. But there's one area that's totally different. It's not even the Adam's apple. I don't know what these surgeons are doing, because even the guy's Adam's apple completely disappears. And even if you look at their body build, okay? Well, think about it. In Southeast Asia, most men there are typically not very tall, right? Like the average height, in these countries, in Vietnam, in Thailand, in Cambodia, in Laos, is probably anywhere between 5'4" to 5'7". But that's very short for a guy. But if you transition to become a lady boy, that's a pretty solid height for a woman. So a lot of these guys, they do have the body build and the physique of a woman. So after the transition, it is almost impossible to tell. There's only one area where you can tell the difference, okay? If you try to grab their breast, okay? And obviously when I say breast, they're not natural breasts. If you try to feel it, it is ice cold. It's not like a woman's breast where it's cozy and warm. I think they put some kind of implants down there. I think it's probably silicone or something. I'm not 100% sure. If you're able to feel their breast, you can tell that it is very, very cold. I think that is the only way you can tell that person's a lady boy and not a lady. Because apart from that, these lady boys down there in Thailand, okay, their voice, their appearance, their build, their body, okay, their skin, their face, everything is 100% woman. It's becoming almost impossible to tell. This is why I'm telling you, okay, if you go down to Thailand, you want to have a good time, you want to go to Vietnam, you want to go to Saigon, be very, very careful. And here's the $1 million question. Why would so many people do this, okay? Why are so many people in Thailand choosing to become ladyboys? I mentioned this before, okay? Part of it is female privilege. Think about it. You have millions of passport bros going to these Southeast Asian countries. So the average Thai woman has the privilege, to choose to mate with a passport bro. And the passport bro will become the financial provider and protector. He can buy her a house. He can buy her a car. He can take her shopping. He can start a family with her. He can pay for the children's tuition. He can put food on the table. The average Thai man does not have this kind of privilege. And what happens when you have millions of Western men flocking into these countries, taking all of these Thai women? That means that there's going to be millions of excess Thai men. And the average salary in Thailand is roughly anywhere between $300 to $400 a month. Think about that. Thailand is a third world country after all, and many of these men simply don't have a choice. And some of the local people in Thailand have told me that some of these ladyboys, they say if they transition at the age of 18 and they start performing and doing sex work and go to all these shows, if they perform for the next 10 years, if they just do it from when they're 18 to 28, they will have made more than enough money to enjoy the rest of their lives in peace and tranquility, and that they can travel to anywhere in the world. It's very, very enticing. That's why you have all these modern women that's doing OnlyFans, because sex sells. Sex can make you unbelievably rich. Sex can take you to the top of the world. So think about it. You're presented with two choices. The average Thai man either gets some bullshit job at a factory that pays you $300 or $400 a month, and you'll be living in extreme poverty for the rest of your life, or perhaps become a ladyboy, make $10 million in 10 years and go enjoy the rest of your life. So the choice is up to you.